Alright, y'all, Rain Coleman. Hit me up on Twitter and on TikTok at CarefreeBlackNerdu. Hit me up on IG and YouTube at CarefreeBlackNerdu. I have been a fan of the Scream franchise since I first learned of it, since the very first movie. Scream has been like my jam. I was watching Party of Five back then and like so many other 90s shows or whatnot. And so seeing Neve Campbell be Sydney and what this meant and whatever, I enjoyed it, much like a lot of folks. That being said, we now are at Scream VI, I believe, and working on 7. So with the political and world conflict that's going on between with the Palestinian genocide, there are a lot of people who know more than me. There's a lot of people who have a personal stake in it, or intimately personal stake in it, as they are Palestinian people, or they have family from that area, or they are from there themselves. So I am, hopefully, if I can find some, I'll insert some videos or whatever of maybe some comments that they may have. But that being said, it is not lost on me, or it is not odd or out of line that celebrities are speaking on things. We don't always need them to, but it's going to happen. That being said, Melissa Barrera, the lead of the kind of rebooted leg, this new contemporary leg of the Scream franchise, has been axed. She's been let go. She's been removed, fired from the franchise. Why, might you ask? Because she has condemned genocide. Now, the story is constantly unfolding. There were new things popping up here and there, new details and whatnot. But the thing that has remained the same is that Melissa is staunchly against genocide. So I'm going to read from the BBC article because I think it kind of streamlines everything that I've found on social media. So she has posted regularly, she being Melissa, about the Israel-Gaza conflict, including resharing a post that accused Israel of genocide and ethnic cleansing. Now, that is a conversation that has been had forever and a day, and especially since this new wave, I'll just say new wave, for lack of a better term, new wave of eyes have been placed on the Palestinian conflict, genocide. I'm not certain. Bear with me. I'm still trying to figure this out. But that being said, that is not some brand spanking new idea or even thought. It's been going on. This is what folks have been saying. So the production company Spyglass said it has zero tolerance for anti-Semitism. So also Susan Sarandon has been dropped by her Hollywood agency as well for being pro-Palestinian, for being at like a pro-Palestinian rally. So the Mexican actress Barrera defended her comments. She posted on Instagram and she wrote, "I believe a group of people are not their leadership, and that no governing body should be above criticism. I pray day and night for more death, for no more violence, and peaceful coexistence. I will continue to speak out for those that need it most and continue to advocate for peace and safety, for human rights and freedom. Silence is not an option for me." So before she left, she shared a quote. She also shared a quote from another account on her Instagram, which read, "At the end of the day, I'd rather be excluded for who I include than be included for who I exclude." And so, yeah, that has been that. I'll say this: Scream won't get another watch out of me, like, going forward. And I know we're in a time where there's a young lady on TikTok who stated, like, we're essentially in the French Revolution. Like, history repeats itself, and if you look at history and look how things have unfolded and look at where you are now, then there was another young lady who spoke about, like, to know if you're on the right side of history, just oppose whatever like the American government is for, and say what you want. She was making some points. But that being said, though, this is it's I don't know, it's not surprising, but it's surprising. It's like, what are we doing? Because from the post that I found, and I'm not saying that there is none out there, but from the post that I found and from the post that I saw, there was nothing that Melissa posted that was not highlighting the victims. There was no, like, but whatever. That being said, the frustration comes from us being in this space of transition. I feel like we being the global network, us, everyone, not even just Americans, have been in this transitional space, even independent of this Palestinian genocide. We've been in this global transitional space for quite some time. I'd say maybe even a decade. And with this rapid succession of constant, like, earth shattering events, like, even if we just want to start with COVID, it's like, my goodness, we are truly living in this very pretty apocalyptic time. So that being all that being said, I'm standing with Melissa. Of course I am. And then I know that Jenna Ortega also left the project. Now that I found some different accounts of that. So a lot of folks that I found that were opposed to her were saying like, oh, she's just riding on the coattails of Melissa. She's actually not in the movie, but for a couple scenes. I'm thinking like, what does that matter? Like, if it's one thing for her Jenna, if it's just like, oh, let me piggyback off of Melissa's statement and then make that my exit. Okay, say what you will and have your ideas about that, but to be like, oh, she's only in one or two scenes, what are we talking about? Jenna Ortega? You mean the Wednesday Addams? Like, Jenna Ortega, this new up and coming it girl when it comes to horror? Like, yes, she's not, quote, the lead, Melissa is, but like, they're intrinsically tied to one another in the way that Sydney is tied to the franchise itself. Like, what are you saying? I don't care if she was in there for one scene. Her name is a draw. She's proven herself as a lead actress, a heavy hitter. So like, even if that's the case, it's like, yeah, one or two scenes, she still is the draw. What are you talking about? So I don't know. I think that was silly as hell. But so regardless to the motivations of her leaving, the fact is she left as well. And the way it's being framed is that it is she's leaving in solidarity with Melissa. And if that's the case, then kudos to her. But like, yeah, let's act like we got some sense when it comes to these doggone properties, when it comes to these actors and actresses, and when it comes to like the world at large. Again, we don't always need to look to celebrities to give us some moral standing of where we should lie, because the general public pretty much knows where it is that who's doing right and who's doing wrong. But like, in these instances, when you see folks being punished for speaking out against something like genocide, it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing?